Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on Lively Later Life.
It's great to be back with you all.
We're really glad you're tuning in for another deep dive. Here on Lively Later Life, well, our whole mission is about helping you enrich your golden years.
That's right. We aim to bring you insights, maybe some practical strategies, and hopefully a few pleasant surprises along the way.
All designed to help you navigate later life with real vibrancy and a sense of purpose.
Because we truly believe that staying curious, staying connected, and importantly, continually learning and creating, those are the keys.
Cornerstones, really, of a fulfilling later life. And this is part of our Sharp Mind, Bright Future series, which is all about keeping our minds vibrant and engaged.
And today, we've got a really special deep dive lined up. It's something that promises not just, personal satisfaction, but some pretty significant cognitive boosts too.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we exploring?
We're diving into your story, your legacy, how telling your life story boosts your brain.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Love it.
Exactly. And think about this for a second. Have you ever found yourself just lost in a memory? Maybe you're recalling a really cherished moment, and it's so vivid you can almost feel the sun or hear the laughter again.
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time. It's like being transported.
It's a remarkable feeling, isn't it? Like a little spontaneous trip back in time, bringing the past right into the present moment, crystal clear.
It really is. It's like the brain just holds on to those sensory details, waiting to unlock them. I had an experience just recently that speaks exactly to this.
Oh, yeah.
I was at a community center out in Victoria, British Columbia, beautiful place. And I was chatting with this wonderful older gentleman, Mr. Evans.
Okay.
And he pulls out this photograph, the kind.
Mm.
Old, a bit yellowed at the edges,
Yeah.
clearly held onto for years.
Yeah, the ones that just scream, a story inside.
Totally. And it showed him as a young man, maybe late teens, early 20s, standing there grinning next to this absolutely classic car, like something out of an old movie.
Oh.
And honestly, for what felt like maybe 20 minutes, but it flew by, he just told me the story. How he saved up every penny for that car, working odd jobs,
Uh-huh.
and then the road trips. He talked about driving with his sweetheart, who later became his wife, of course, exploring all these hidden spots. He mentioned driving the winding roads on Vancouver Island, but also trips way out, seeing the vastness of the prairies, just adventuring.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
And the way he told it, his eyes were just shining, lit up with remembering. And his voice got so animated you could hear the excitement, like he was that young man again, right there.
That's the power of it, isn't it?
It really is. And when he finished, he sort of paused, looked at the photo again, and said something like, I thought it was just a simple story. But telling it,
Yeah.
wow, I felt like I was right back there. And that's a memory I really want my grandkids to have. So they know, where our family started its journey.
Oh, that's beautiful. That gives me chills.
We do. And his experience, just that moment of incredibly vivid recall and that deep sense of connection he felt, both to his past and to his future family, it just perfectly illustrates the power we're talking about today, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Mr. Evans' story is, well, it's a perfect real-world example of what the research we looked at keeps highlighting. It's not just about feeling nostalgic, though that's nice too.
Right.
The actual act of constructing and telling your story is a really robust cognitive activity. It gets so many parts of the brain working together.
So the research backs this up strongly.
Oh, definitely. The sources you shared, things from neuroscience journals, gerontology studies, they consistently show that engaging with your life story can significantly boost self-esteem. It helps consolidate and strengthen your actual memories. And like Mr. Evans felt, it fosters these really deep, important connections, especially across generations.
That's fantastic.
So if you, listening right now, have ever thought, maybe I should write some things down, or even just I should share more stories with the family, whether they're here in Canada or maybe overseas, well, this deep dive is absolutely for you.
We want to explore how you can harness that really basic human need to tell stories, to connect through narrative, and turn it into something practical, something that benefits your brain health and helps you build a lasting legacy.
Exactly. It's about taking something natural and making it intentional for well-being.
Okay, absolutely. The research seems crystal clear.
Yeah.
Getting into your life story is a really worthwhile investment in your cognitive health. So let's get right into the nitty-gritty then. We hear storytelling is good for the brain a lot, but why? What's actually happening up there? It's clearly more than just, sitting around reminiscing, right? What makes it such an effective mental workout?
That is precisely the core question the research dives into. And the answers are, well, they're pretty compelling. It's not just one thing happening. Telling your story, especially your own life story, it's a complex, multi-layered mental exercise.
Okay.
Think of it less like lifting a single dumbbell and more like conducting a whole orchestra. Different brain regions have to work together in harmony, and the result is a much stronger overall performance.
An orchestra. I like that analogy.
Well, yeah.
So what are the main instruments in this brain orchestra?
Okay, let's break down the key benefits we see highlighted again and again. First off, and perhaps most obviously, is memory enhancement.
Right, recalling things.
Yes, but it's more active than just simple recall. When you tell a story, you're not just passively pulling up a fact like a phone number. You're actively retrieving specific events, people involved, the places, the sensory details, and very importantly, the feelings associated with those moments.
The emotional context.
Exactly. And this whole dynamic process gives your hippocampus a really good workout. That's the C-horse-shaped structure deep in your brain, absolutely critical for forming and retrieving memories.
The memory hub.
That's the one. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Based on research, say, from places like McGill University or the University of Toronto that study memory, it's not just retrieval. The act of structuring that memory into a narrative, putting it into words, figuring out the sequence, it forces the hippocampus to essentially re-engage with that memory. It's a process sometimes called reconsolidation.
Reconsolidation. What does that mean exactly?
It means that each time you actively recall and reconstruct a memory, especially in a narrative form, you're not just playing back a recording. You're subtly reinforcing and potentially even reshaping the neural pathways that store that memory.
So you're strengthening the memory trace.
Precisely. You're making it stronger, more resistant to fading over time. And fascinatingly, this process can also help reframe the emotional charge of a memory. Maybe a challenging event from the past, when recounted now with the perspective of years, gets integrated differently. It becomes part of a story of resilience, not just difficulty.
Wow. So it can actually change how we feel about past events.
It can certainly modulate the emotional intensity and help integrate it into your larger life narrative. So this regular exercise routine for your memory doesn't just make individual memories stronger, it helps organize them, making your overall memory system more vibrant, accessible, and coherent.
So it's like organizing your mental filing cabinet while also reinforcing the files themselves. Not just retrieving a file, but maybe adding better labels, cross-referencing it, making it easier to find next time, and less likely to get lost.
That's a perfect way to put it. You're actively curating your own memory library.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What's next in our brain orchestra?
Well, that active structuring process leads directly to the second key benefit, improving your language skills. Ah, okay. How so?
When you tell a story, especially if you're trying to engage someone, you're not just, blurting out random facts. You have to structure a narrative arc. You decide which details are important, which to leave out. You think about how to build a little suspense, maybe, or how to convey a specific feeling, joy, sadness, excitement.
Right, choosing your words carefully.
Exactly. This demands careful word selection, finding just the right adjective, the most precise verb. It requires clear articulation, thinking about sentence structure. All of this actively engages the language centers of your brain. Think about Broca's area, which is involved in actually producing speech, and Wernicke's area, which is crucial for understanding language.
So speaking requires thinking about language itself.
Very much so. Studies in neurolinguistics show this clearly. It's a rigorous workout for your vocabulary. You might find yourself reaching for words you haven't used in a while. And it definitely improves your verbal fluency, how smoothly and easily you can express yourself and your overall articulation.
So it helps you become a better communicator in general. Absolutely. You're not just recounting the past. You're actively honing a complex cognitive skill that makes your everyday conversations potentially more eloquent and your thoughts clearer.
Okay, memory and language. What else is getting a workout?
Next up is logical thinking and executive functions.
How does storytelling tap into logic?
Well, think about putting your life story together, even just a small part of it. You usually need to organize events chronologically, right? This happened, then that happened, which led to this consequence.
Cause and effect.
Precisely. You're identifying cause and effect relationships. You're figuring out the sequence. You're making sense of your personal journey. How did one decision influence another? What were the real turning points, the pivotal moments that shaped where you are now?
Yeah. That does require some serious organization.
It really does. And this process deeply engages your brain's executive functions. These are the higher-level cognitive processes, mostly managed by the prefrontal cortex right at the front of your brain. They handle things like planning, organizing, sequencing information, problem-solving, and strategic thinking.
So it's like being the CEO of your own story.
Huh, I like that. Yes, in a way. You're not just passively recalling events, you're actively analyzing them, connecting maybe seemingly unrelated experiences, and synthesizing them into a coherent, meaningful narrative. You're building this intricate puzzle of your life, figuring out how all the pieces fit together logically.
That sounds incredibly powerful. Almost therapeutic, just the act of making sense of it all.
It absolutely can be.
Die.
And that leads perfectly into the next major benefit, emotional regulation.
Okay, tell me more about that connection.
Reflecting on past experiences, and this includes the good times, the joyous moments, but also the challenges, the hardships, the losses, allows for this really crucial process of reprocessing and sometimes reframing them.
Reframing, like seeing them differently.
Exactly. For instance, a memory of a difficult time, maybe losing a job or facing an illness years ago, might initially be just linked to feelings of anxiety or sadness. But when you revisit it now, maybe decades later, and place it within the larger context of your life story, you might see it differently. Perhaps you see it as a time you discovered your own resilience, or when you learned something crucial, or maybe even found unexpected support. The story might become one of overcoming, not just suffering.
So the meaning can evolve as you tell it.
Yes, or at least your understanding and acceptance of its place in your life can evolve. There's a whole field, narrative therapy, that builds on this idea. This deep internal conversation with your past, facilitated by storytelling, can lead to greater emotional stability. It gives you perspective. Life has ups and downs, right? We all know that. Storytelling helps integrate those experiences into a more balanced, accepting view of your life's journey.
I can see how that would lead to a greater sense of peace.
It really can. It contributes significantly to overall quality of life, helping to smooth out the emotional peaks and valleys. It's like a cognitive and emotional spring cleaning.
Memory, language, logic, emotional regulation. This is quite a list. Is there more?
There is one more crucial piece, and it ties right back into our core philosophy here at Lively Later Life. It's social connection.
Ah, yes, the connection piece.
Sharing your stories, not just thinking about them, but actually sharing them with others, whether it's family, friends, maybe a writing group, fundamentally strengthens your social bonds.
How does that impact the brain specifically?
Well, research consistently, overwhelmingly shows that meaningful social interaction is absolutely vital for cognitive health and overall well-being, especially as we age. Feeling connected helps combat loneliness and isolation, which, as we know, can be significant concerns for many seniors here in Canada and elsewhere.
And loneliness has real negative impacts on brain health, right?
Absolutely. It's linked to increased risk of cognitive decline and other health issues. So the act of sharing your story, of opening up and connecting with someone through your experiences, provides your brain with that essential positive social engagement it needs to thrive.
So it's like fuel for the social brain.
Exactly. Humans are wired for connection. We're social beings through and through. And storytelling, well, it's probably our oldest and most powerful tool for building empathy, fostering understanding, and forging those deep, meaningful connections that nourish both our minds and our spirits.
Wow. Okay, when you lay it all out like that, memory, language, logic, emotion, connection, it's incredibly clear. Storytelling isn't just a nice thing to do. It's a dynamic, comprehensive workout for the entire mind.
It really is. It engages so many different cognitive functions all at once, building strength, flexibility, and resilience across various neural networks. It's truly a holistic brain exercise.
It makes you think differently about just telling an old family story.
And here's a concept, sort of a metaphor that came up in the research we looked at that we found really powerful and a way to visualize this whole process.
Okay, I like metaphors. Let's hear it. This is our LL kick for this section.
You could call it that. Think of your brain not just as like a hard drive storing data, but imagine it as a rich, vast library of stories, your personal library.
Yeah, a library, got it.
Now, the more you actively visit that library, walk down the aisles, explore different sections, pull out those treasured books, maybe dust them off a bit, and then share their tales with others. The more vibrant, the more organized, and the more truly alive that entire library becomes.
Ah, so it's not a static archive.
Not at all. Each story you tell, each memory you recount and shape into a narrative, it's like a beautifully cataloged book. It gets placed neatly on a shelf, maybe with a clearer title and description than before, becomes easily accessible, ready to be pulled out and re-experienced or shared again instead of being, lost in some dusty, forgotten corner.
So revisiting and sharing keeps the library functional and vibrant.
Exactly. This constant engagement ensures your mental library doesn't just remain full, but it stays thriving, well organized, easily navigable. It becomes a living testament to your rich, complex, and unique life.
That's a really compelling image. Transforming memories from just things we have into an active, thriving resource we use and share. I love that.
It captures the essence of it, I think.
Okay, so we've established why storytelling is such a fantastic brain booster, touching on memory, language, logic, emotion, connection, and we have this great library metaphor.
Mhm.
But now, for many of you listening, the big practical question probably looms. Okay, that sounds great, but how do I actually start capturing these stories?
Right.
Where do I even begin when I look back at, well, a whole lifetime of memories? It can feel, frankly, a bit daunting.
It really can. That initial step, just getting started, often feels like the biggest hurdle to overcome. But the really good news is that the resources we consulted, the experts in this area, they highlight lots of different ways in. Many accessible, enjoyable ways to begin this journey. No single right way.
That's reassuring. So what are some
Yeah.
of these practical methods?
Okay, let's explore a few. One of the most straightforward and consistently recommended approaches is journaling.
Good old-fashioned journaling.
Yeah.
Pen and paper, or maybe typing?
Either works. The beauty of journaling is its incredible flexibility. You really genuinely don't need to feel pressured, thinking you have to write, a whole chapter every single day, or even every week.
Small steps are okay.
Absolutely. The research suggests that even a consistent commitment, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes a day, or even a few times a week, can yield significant cognitive and emotional benefits.
5 or 10 minutes. That sounds manageable.
Totally manageable. And during that short time, you don't need a grand theme. Simply write down maybe something that happened that day that stood out, or how you're feeling about something, or perhaps a specific memory just bubbles up. Could be about a childhood friend you haven't thought of in years, or maybe living through a big historical event, or even just a funny little moment from your visit with family last week.
So no pressure for it to be profound.
Not at all. The emphasis is really on consistency, just making it a small, regular practice and allowing your thoughts and memories to flow freely onto the page or screen. Don't censor yourself, just get it down.
And what are the specific benefits of doing that regularly?
Well, numerous psychological studies highlight them. It's a fantastic way to organize your thoughts and emotions. Writing things down can help you process experiences, gain clarity on situations, maybe even identify recurring patterns or themes in your life you hadn't noticed before.
Like self-discovery through writing.
Very much so. And of course, it serves as this deeply personal, private record of your life, a treasure trove of your experiences, your inner thoughts, your evolving perspectives over time. It's something you can revisit later, creating this tangible chronicle of your unique journey.
It sounds like a very low-pressure, private way to just get the ball rolling without feeling like you're undertaking some huge project.
Precisely. It's very approachable. But then, for those who maybe do envision something a bit more structured, a more complete narrative, there's the option of writing a memoir.
Okay, the full life story. That sounds like a bigger commitment.
It can be, and that's often where people get stuck. Many folks dream of writing their life story, but then they feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer scope of it. Where do I even start? How can I possibly cover everything?
Yeah, that paralysis is real.
Totally. So the key advice from experienced memoirists and what you see in writing guides is crucial. Don't try to write your entire life story all at once. That's almost guaranteed to feel impossible.
So break it down.
Exactly. Focus on a specific period of your life or maybe a particular theme that runs through it. For instance, you could decide, I'm just going to write about my childhood growing up on the farm in rural Alberta. Or I want to focus on my experiences during the war years.
Or maybe a specific role.
Yes. Like, my first real job, the challenges, the funny moments, what I learned, that often holds so many formative memories. Or a theme that's incredibly powerful and unifying for many Canadians, especially seniors, is the story of immigration, how I came to live in Canada. That journey, the leaving, the arriving, the challenges, the triumphs, building a new life here, that's a profound story in itself.
Focusing like that makes it seem much more achievable.
It really does. This structured approach gives you a clear sense of purpose and direction. It makes the project feel manageable, not like this insurmountable mountain. And the feeling you get from actually completing a significant personal project, like a focused memoir, or even just a chapter of one, well, it can bring immense satisfaction and a really deep sense of accomplishment.
I can imagine it's not just a document. It's proof of your journey.
It's a testament to your life, your resilience, the richness of your experiences.
Okay, so journaling for flexibility, memoir for structure.
Yeah. Another wonderful method, especially for those who are more visual or maybe find that visual cues really spark memories, is creating a photo album or scrapbook, but with a storytelling twist.
Ah, using photos as prompts.
Exactly. This is such a fantastic starting point for so many people because, let's face it, photos are incredibly powerful memory triggers. You look at an old picture and suddenly, whoosh, you're back there.
So the idea is to get out the old albums.
Yes, encourage yourself or maybe get a family member to help you dust off those old physical photo albums that might be hiding in a closet or attic. Or if your photos are mostly digital now, dive into those folders on your computer or phone.
And then what? Just look at them.
Looking is the first step, but the crucial next step is to actively write down the stories associated with each picture. Don't just glance and say, oh yeah, Aunt Mildred. Really look, ask yourself questions. Like, who exactly are all the people in this picture? Where were we? Can I remember the specific place? Maybe the room or the park? What was the atmosphere like that day? Was it sunny, cloudy, noisy, quiet? What was the actual occasion? A birthday? A holiday? A random Tuesday?
Getting really specific.
Yes. And maybe most importantly, what was I feeling in that moment? Happy? Nervous? Proud? What sounds or smells do I associate with that picture, if any? As the research emphasizes, photos are potent cues. As you start describing them, writing down these details, it can unlock entire stories, forgotten nuances, minute details you thought were gone forever.
It's like each photo is a doorway to a story.
Precisely. It's a visual prompt that can open up whole chapters of your personal history. You're not just captioning, you're storytelling.
Journaling, memoirs, photo stories, those are all such practical, accessible ways in. It makes it feel much less intimidating.
They really are. Different approaches for different people.
And building on that idea of making it easy to start, here's a little tip that really emerged from the research, something we can call our LL Smart tip for this section.
Ooh, a smart tip. Let's hear it.
It's simple. Don't try to tackle some huge abstract theme right away. Just start with a single, simple, focused prompt.
Like the questions you mentioned for the photos.
Exactly. Or even more general ones, like maybe sit down and just think about this. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received, and how did it actually change things for you?
Oh, that's a great one. Makes you think.
Or tell me about your very first pet. What was its name? What's the most memorable adventure you shared together? Pets often unlock surprisingly emotional stories.
They really do?
Or think about school days. What was your absolute favorite subject in school, and why did you love it so much? Or maybe about home. Describe your childhood home. Not just what it looked like on the outside, but how did it feel to be inside? What rooms do you remember most clearly?
Sensory details again.
Yes. Or you could try a purely sensory prompt. What's a particular smell, maybe baking bread or cut grass or the ocean, or a specific piece of music that instantly transports you back to a certain time or place? Describe that connection.
Those are fantastic starting points. Small doors into potentially big stories.
Exactly. The core idea, really, no matter which method you lean towards, journaling, memoir, photos, is just to start small. Take that one tiny first step with a simple prompt, and then just let the stories flow. Don't force it, just see what comes up naturally from that initial spark. You will genuinely be amazed, I think, at what surfaces when you just give yourself permission to begin.
That is such excellent practical advice, because once you start gathering these incredible pieces of your life using whatever method feels right, the next really natural and I'd argue profoundly important step is to think about sharing them.
Moving from personal reflection to connection.
Precisely, because our sources, the research, the expert, they consistently emphasize this. Our stories aren't just for us. They are perhaps the greatest, most meaningful legacy we can leave behind.
More than possessions or money.
In many ways, yes. Because your stories, they form the living roots of your family tree. They provide not just names and dates, but the context, the values, the personality, the identity, and that deep sense of belonging for those who come after you. Sharing isn't just nice, it feels almost like a responsibility, preserving a vital part of your family's heritage.
What a rich, enduring legacy that can be. A living history.
Exactly.
So how can people best share these narratives, especially across generations? What are some practical ways to make that happen?
There are so many wonderful ways, and they don't have to be complicated. For instance, think about deliberately creating regular storytime sessions with your grandchildren if you have them.
Like reading them a book, but it's your life.
Kind of, but much more informal. You don't need a special chair or a set script. Just make it a regular, casual thing, maybe when they visit over a cup of tea or while baking cookies, or perhaps make it part of a phone call or a video chat if they live far away.
What kind of stories work best?
Share funny anecdotes from your own childhood. Kids love hearing about when their grandparents were kids. Tell them vivid memories of what life was like when you were their age. Describe the clothes people wore, the music that was popular, the technology, or maybe the amusing lack of technology that defined your youth.
Things that seem ancient history to them.
Exactly. And this simple, consistent act of sharing your experiences, your perspectives, it works wonders to bridge those generational gaps. It builds really powerful connections and fosters genuine understanding between you and your grandkids. They start to see you not just as grandma or grandpa, but as a person with a rich past.
It gives them context for their own lives too, right? Seeing where they came from.
Absolutely. It humanizes history for them. It gives them roots.
That's lovely. What else?
Building on that idea, especially leveraging the tech that younger generations are so comfortable with, is to maybe start a family history interview project.
Okay, flipping the script. They interview you.
Yes. Imagine inviting a child or a grandchild to actually interview you about your life. This turns storytelling into this wonderful, collaborative, engaging activity. It makes them active participants in preserving your history, which gives them a real sense of ownership and importance.
How would that work practically?
They could come up with some questions beforehand, maybe with a little help, and then they can use their smartphone. They usually know how to do this better than we do to record the conversation.
Audio or video?
Either. An audio recording captures the unique sound and cadence of your voice telling your stories. A video recording captures even more your expressions, your gestures, the twinkle in your eye as you remember something special.
That sounds incredibly valuable.
It creates a truly invaluable family artifact. Not just your words on paper, but your living presence sharing your memories. Think about how much your family, now and in the future, will treasure having that tangible audio or video record. It connects them to you, to your essence, in a way that even the best written story can't fully capture.
That's a powerful idea. And in today's world, with families often spread out, digital tools must play a big role in sharing, too, right? Not everyone lives close enough for regular story time or in-person interviews.
Oh, absolutely. And digital methods offer amazing flexibility for sharing your narrative, especially with family members who might be far away, maybe in another province here in Canada, or even living across the globe.
So what are some easy digital options?
Well, one of the simplest and most accessible is using the Voice Memos app that comes standard on pretty much every smartphone these days.
Just talking into your phone.
Exactly. This is a fantastic option, especially for people who might find writing a bit tedious or perhaps have physical limitations like arthritis that make typing or writing difficult. You just open the app, hit record, and tell your story. Just speak naturally as if you were talking directly to a loved one sitting across from you.
Can you do short ones?
Absolutely. You could record short, spontaneous snippets whenever a memory strikes you, or you could sit down and record longer, more detailed narratives about a specific event or period. It's wonderfully spontaneous, it's authentic, and crucially, it captures the unique warmth and character of your voice, which is such a precious thing for family to hear.
Like leaving little audio postcards from your life.
That's a lovely way to put it. Audio postcards.
Yeah.
And then building on that, if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, you could explore creating video diaries.
Okay, stepping it up a notch.
Just a small step. Again, using your smartphone or maybe a tablet, you can easily record short video clips of yourself telling a story. You just prop the phone up, hit record, and talk to the camera as if it were your grandchild or your niece.
What's the advantage of video?
Video is incredibly powerful because it captures everything, not just your words and your voice, but your facial expressions, your hand gestures, your smile, the way you pause to think. Your whole personality comes through.
More immersive.
Much more. And then you can easily share these video stories via email, messaging apps, or private social media groups with family members near and far. Whether they're across BC or in another country entirely, it helps bridge that distance. It ensures that the connection remains strong and they can still experience the sharing of your precious memories by actually seeing and hearing you tell them.
It really is about bringing your stories to life in the most vivid way possible, using the tools we have now.
Indeed. It makes sharing so much more dynamic and personal, regardless of geography.
Okay, these are all great ways to share.
And perhaps we can offer another LL kick here, another core idea from our research that really encapsulates the value of sharing these stories, the enduring impact.
All right, let's have it.
Think of your life story, the collection of all these memories and experiences you've gathered and are now sharing. Think of it as the ultimate instruction manual for your family.
An instruction manual. How so?
Well, it's not just a dry list of facts or dates, right? It's this rich, complex tapestry. It's interwoven with the wisdom you've gained through decades of living, navigating challenges, celebrating joys. It's probably sprinkled with a good dose of humor you found in life's unexpected twists and turns. And hopefully it's brimming with the love and the values that have defined your journey and your family.
Okay, I see where you're going.
This manual, this collection of stories, is something your children, your grandchildren, maybe even great-grandchildren you'll never meet, can turn to. It provides essential context for their own lives, helps them understand themselves better. Ah, that's where I get my stubborn streak, or that explains our family's love of music. It helps them grasp their heritage, where they came from, the shoulders they stand on.
So it gives them roots and identity.
Exactly. And they can draw strength and inspiration from the unique path you forged. Your stories offer them not just a fascinating glimpse into the past, but potentially a kind of blueprint filled with lessons learned, values demonstrated, and insights about navigating life's complexities that only you, through your unique experience, can impart. It's a guide enriched by your life.
That's a profoundly meaningful way to think about it. An instruction manual filled with wisdom, humor, and love. Wow.
It elevates storytelling from a pastime to a fundamental act of legacy building.
Okay, those are such compelling, really heartfelt reasons to get started on this journey of capturing and sharing stories. But let's be honest, even hearing all these wonderful benefits and methods, for many people listening, taking that very first step can still feel, well, a bit overwhelming.
It's true, the inertia can be strong.
Looking back at an entire lifetime, all those decades, all those experiences, it can feel like standing at the bottom of a very, very large mountain. Where do you even place your foot first?
That feeling is completely understandable. So let's dedicate this last section to offering some really practical simplifying tips. Advice drawn directly from the experts we consulted, the resources we reviewed, designed specifically to help you overcome that initial overwhelm and actually get started on your storytelling journey, no matter where you feel you are right now.
Breaking down the barriers, like it.
Exactly. Because that starting line, as we said, often feels like the hardest part. So let's make it feel less like a cliff face and more like a gentle slope.
Okay, what's tip number one?
Tip number one, and honestly, we really cannot stress this enough, it came up again and again. Start small. Really, really small.
We touched on this, but it bears repeating.
Absolutely, because the impulse is often to think big. I need to write my entire memoir, or I need to document every major event. And it's a classic recipe for feeling completely swamped and then just giving up before you even properly begin. Avoid that trap.
So what does small look like in practice?
It looks like setting a tiny, achievable goal for today or this week. Maybe today. Your only goal is to write one single paragraph. Just one. About a vivid memory from your first day of school, perhaps.
Okay, one paragraph. That feels doable.
Or maybe your goal is just to record one 5-minute story using your phone's voice memo app while you're having your morning coffee. Just one. Or perhaps you pick out just one single old photograph from that box and you simply write down the story connected to that specific picture. Nothing more.
Focusing on the singular.
Yes. The momentum you gain from achieving these small, manageable successes is incredibly powerful. It builds confidence. It proves to yourself that you can do it. And that momentum becomes your fuel, carrying you forward to the next small step and the next. It's all about building a gentle habit, not about instantly creating some magnum opus.
Start small. Got it. What's next?
Tip number 2, and this is super practical for when you hit that blank page feeling, use prompts.
We mentioned prompts earlier, too.
Yeah.
Where do people find good ones?
If you find yourself sitting there staring at a blank notebook page or maybe a silent phone recorder, and your mind just goes completely blank, what on earth should I talk about? Please don't worry. This happens to everyone. It's a really common hurdle. And the fantastic news is the internet is your best friend here.
Just search online.
Yep. Simply go to your favorite search engine and type in phrases like memoir writing prompts for seniors, or life story questions, or maybe storytelling questions for family history. You will instantly find thousands, I mean, literally thousands of excellent ideas and specific questions designed just to jog your memory and get those stories flowing.
What kind of prompts might you find?
All sorts. You'll find questions about childhood games, first crushes, lessons learned from parents or mentors, experiences with historical events you lived through, favorite family traditions, career highlights or challenges, travel memories, reflections on aging. The list is endless. Some are simple, some are more thought-provoking, some might even be hypothetical what-if scenarios that spark an unexpected memory trail.
So they act like keys to unlock memories.
Exactly. Think of them as gentle guides, little nudges to help you explore different corners of your memory library. They can help you discover stories you didn't even realize you had filed away. Don't be afraid to use them.
Okay, start small, use prompts. What's the third big tip?
This one might be the most liberating of all. Don't judge your work. Seriously. Let go of the inner critic.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, I know, but it's so important. Remember the fundamental goal here. This journey is about capturing your memories, getting your stories down, preserving your unique perspective. That's the priority.
Not winning a Pulitzer Prize.
Exactly. The primary goal is not to write a bestseller that's going to win literary awards or be lauded for its perfect prose. So please, try to consciously release yourself from the heavy burden of needing it to be perfect. Don't get bogged down worrying about flawless grammar or impeccable spelling or crafting the most elegant poetic sentences.
Just get it down.
Just get the story down. Let your authentic voice come through, even if it feels a bit raw or unpolished. Perfectionism, that little voice telling you it's not good enough, is often the most insidious enemy of progress on a project like this. It can stop you dead in your tracks.
And chances are your family won't care about the grammar anyway.
Precisely. Your family, your loved ones, they will cherish the raw, real stories filled with your genuine voice, your unique way of phrasing things, far, far more than they would a perfectly polished, but perhaps slightly impersonal, overly edited narrative. Authenticity trumps perfection every single time in this context. Your voice is the treasure.
Start small, use prompts, don't judge. Those are truly liberating tips. They really help demystify the whole process and make it feel less intimidating.
That's the hope. Make it feel accessible to everyone.
And beyond those individual strategies, it's also important to remember, isn't it, that you absolutely don't have to do this entirely on your own. There's support out there.
Oh, absolutely. That's another valuable insight that came through strongly from our sources. Find support. Don't underestimate the power of community.
Where can people look for that support?
Many local libraries right across British Columbia and indeed throughout Canada are amazing resources. They often host specific programs tailored for seniors, things like memoir writing groups or storytelling workshops, or maybe even genealogy clubs where storytelling is a big component. Community centers are another fantastic place to look.
So check local listings.
Definitely. Joining one of these groups can be absolutely wonderful. It's a fantastic way to meet other people who are on a similar journey, sharing their own experiences. You get inspired hearing their diverse stories, which can spark your own memories. Plus, you often get practical help, constructive feedback if you want it, and just general encouragement from both the facilitators and your peers in the group.
It turns a potentially solitary activity into something social.
Exactly. It becomes a shared, enriching, and often deeply connecting social experience, which, as we discussed, is great for the brain, too.
It all ties together. Okay, so we've got tips for starting, for overcoming blocks, and for finding support. Now, let's say someone has started gathering stories, maybe written some things down, recorded some audio. What's a nice way to present it all, especially if they want to share it as a gift?
That's a great question. And here's another LLL smart tip. A really thoughtful way to bring it all together beautifully, especially if you've incorporated photos.
Okay, another smart tip.
When you feel ready to share your stories more formally, maybe as a gift for a birthday or holiday, consider compiling them into a simple but professional-looking photo book using an online service.
Like those custom book websites.
Exactly. There are many excellent user-friendly platforms available now, easily accessible here in Canada and beyond. They make the process surprisingly straightforward. You can easily upload your digital photos, type in your stories or captions right alongside them, choose different layouts and designs. You basically design your own beautiful custom book.
That sounds like a lovely way to present it.
It really is. It's affordable, the end result looks incredibly professional, and it provides this wonderful, tangible, elegant way to present your collected memories and stories to your family. It creates a truly treasured keepsake that they can hold in their hands, flip through together, revisit often, and then proudly pass down through the generations. It transforms your efforts into a lasting family heirloom.
What a wonderful culmination of the storytelling journey.
Mm.
A beautiful, tangible legacy.
Precisely.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful.
And that really encapsulates the profound, the multifaceted power of storytelling that we've been exploring today. We've journeyed through how this simple, heartfelt, yet active process of telling your life story is just a magnificent way to keep your brain not just young, but truly vibrant, agile, flexible, and resilient.
Boosting memory, language, logic, emotional balance.
All of that. And perhaps just as importantly, maybe even more so for many, it's the most meaningful and enduring way to create a truly cherished legacy. That narrative tapestry of your life, woven with your unique experiences and wisdom that your family will draw upon, understand better, and appreciate for generations yet to come.
It really drives home the idea that your life story, every single chapter, every little anecdote you share, even those quiet moments of reflection you capture, is a truly unique and absolutely irreplaceable gift.
It absolutely is.
It's just brimming with the wisdom you've painstakingly accumulated through decades of real life, the invaluable lessons you've learned, sometimes the hard way, and all those personal memories, big and small,
Yeah.
that are uniquely, authentically yours.
No one else has lived your exact life.
Exactly. And so by consciously deciding to nurture your narrative, by giving your story form and voice, whether through writing or speaking or photos, you are making such a profound investment in your own cognitive health. You're actively ensuring your mind remains sharp, curious, and deeply engaged with the world and with your own past.
It's active brain maintenance.
It is. And at the very same time, you're crafting and leaving behind this incredibly precious heirloom for your loved ones. A living, breathing part of you captured in your words and your voice that will continue to inspire, to teach, and to resonate with them long after you've perhaps told your last tale in person.
Beautifully put. This whole journey of storytelling, of taking the time to explore and then share your own rich history, it truly can be one of the most fulfilling and genuinely enriching adventures you can embark on in your later years.
It's not just navel-gazing, is it?
Not at all. It's not just about looking backward. It's fundamentally about continuing to grow right now. It's about deepening connections with yourself and with others. It's about finding new meaning and fresh purpose in the experiences that have shaped you.
And that definitely helps keep the mind sharp.
It's a sure and wonderful way to ensure that your sharp mind, the focus of this whole series, continues to shine brightly, guiding your path forward, and that your bright future is filled not just with activity, but with purpose, deep connection, and a real abundance of meaning derived from your own life.
Well, if this deep dive today has resonated with you listening, if it's maybe sparked just one idea, one memory you'd like to capture, or one person you'd like to share a story with, please do take just a quick moment to hit that like button for this episode.
Yeah, it really does help others in our community find this content.
It does. And even more importantly, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the Lively Later Life channel right now. And don't forget to click that little notification bell. That way you absolutely won't miss our next episode in the Sharp Mind, Bright Future series. We've got lots more coming your way.
We're always excited to bring you insights and guidance for living your best, most vibrant later life, and we genuinely want to hear from you about today's topic.
Yes, please share.
What's maybe one story you're feeling excited to tell now? Or perhaps a specific memory that came up for you while listening today that you'd be willing to share? Let us know down in the comments section below.
Your experiences, your own little anecdotes or insights, they can truly inspire other people in our Lively Later Life family to begin their very own incredible storytelling journey.
Absolutely. Sharing inspires sharing.
So true. Well, until next time, everyone,
Tell your story
share your wisdom
and keep embracing your lively later life.
to the absolute fullest.
Right.
And remember to subscribe for more wisdom and joy right here. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.